School books I wanted to see. Did you get free barrels already? So much I heard, too much to mention. What about 400 for old age pension? Man, I can't see. Girl, I can't see. People, I can't see. Hey. Bada 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 badeng. Bang 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 bada 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 bada. I was born with my 5 senses. Since I lost my sight, oh God, I just grieve. Man, I don't know why this happened to me. Maybe I saw something that I shouldn't see. Because when I see things, you know that I like to talk. And those in authority, yes, I say do like that. If you hear some politicians that did rejoicing, man, they glad that I can see what is happening. For example, I saw the police speaking, and I saw them fellas beat him. He took them to court to get a judgment, but he cannot win change of government. Man, I can't see. Girl, I can't see. People, I can't see. Was the police doing his duty? Man, I can't see. Corruption, girl, I can't see. Child molestation, people, I can't see. Victimization, taking over the whole Spice Island. My future was looking so bright. Always now I could lose my sight. My vision was 2020, but now I can see what's in front of me. Bada bading, bang 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 bading. The doctor told me it was a cataract, and I have high blood pressure on top of that. He said, boy, I'm seeing traces of glaucoma. Well, maybe is that what damaged your retina? I said, doctor, please fix this problem quick. He said, nothing I could do, boy, pray for God to fix it. I say, man, just please throw eye drops in my eyes, because I have to see some fellas fulfill their lies. Hey, free school books I wanted to see. Did you get free barrels already? So much I heard, too much to mention. What about 400 for old age pension? Man, I can't see. Girl, I can't see. People, I can't see. How much money did they give granny? Man, I can't see. Girl, I can't see. People, I can't see. Please don't disrespect the elderly. My future was looking so bright. Always now I could lose my sight. My vision was 2020, but now I can see what's in front of me. Bada bading, bang 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 bading. I saw Maurice Bishop turned in his grave, because his murderers all walked away unscathed. When them fellas should all be sentenced to death. Nadia, what it is you saying? Forgive and forget. Well, what about all the innocent life that was lost? For that, what is the price? Please tell me the cost. Maurice Bishop should kill them fellas first, that I say. But instead with the devil, the prophet, he chose to lay. Well, Nadia should be in Jacqueline Cref's belly when court terminated her pregnancy. Innocent people died with Bishop as they let out code. He should shoot them up. Man, I can't see. Girl, I can't see. People, I can't see. Is Court going to live in more luxury? Man, I can't see. Girl, I can't see. People, I can't see. This one for national security. My future was looking so bright. Always know I could lose my sight. My vision was 2020, but now I can see what's in front of me. Bada bading, dang 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 da ding. Bada bada bading. The media was so unbiased and fair. They used to report the news, the things that's happening out there. But then I realized that they started taking sides, being held liable for propaganda and lies. Oh, people interest, I told them right about it. But instead, they only choose to write about Kit. Well, it seems like if it's them go make it come back. Man, I hope I get my eyesight back before that. Mr. Media President / Roll NDC, he should apologize for misleading we about the swearing in of the new Gigi. The piece that he wrote was imaginary. Man, I can't see. Girl, I can't see. People, I can't see. Media, bid them boys send home those imani. Man, I can't see. Girl, I can't see. People, I can't see. The new government jail Kit already. My future was looking so bright. Always know I could lose my sight. My vision was 2020, but now I can't see what's in front of me. Ba-da-ba-ding, dang 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 da-ding, da-da-ding-ding-ding-ding. I lost my sight 2008. I got frustrated and I felt so irate. I find that was just too much stress on my plate. Why the hell this thing called blindness just couldn't wait. But now I just like a package up on a shelf. And everybody know I love to see for myself. So now I cannot get no information. And even if I get, there is no confirmation. Well, I hear that they change up the damn Gigi and give him a much bigger salary. The old one got 7,000 EC, but this one collect US currency. Man, I can't see. Girl, I can't see. People, I can't see. Minister of Finance, please tell me. Man, I can't see. Girl, I can't see. People, I can't see. What is the new Gigi salary? My future was looking so bright. Always know I could lose my sight. My vision was 2020, but now I can see what's in front of me. Ba-da-ba-dee, bam 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 ba-dee. Yes, man.
The house is the symbol for the NNP party. We're going green all the way. Green, we voting green. Green, we voting green. Green, we voting green. On election day. Green, we voting green. Green, we voting green. Green, we voting green. We voting NNP again. Exercise your rights and vote for us. NNP will always put you first. Positive achievement for the last 5 years. The goal is to keep moving up and up. I'm talking to you. Keep moving. Let the focus continue. Keep moving. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Keep moving. We voting NNP again. Right thing to do. Keep moving. Together me and you. Keep moving. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Keep moving. We voting NNP again. Grenada standing strong. We voting with the little black man. We voting green. Whoa, 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 green. Whoa. We voting green. We voting NNP again. To backpedal and reverse. The hole they put us in was too deep and dark. Tell them no way, we're not going back. We're going forward ever. Keep moving. Building up Grenada. Keep moving. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Keep moving. We voting NNP again. The money program helping the youth of this nation. Keep moving. Keep moving. We voting NNP again. NNP has a plan. Keep moving. To develop this nation. Keep moving. Grenada standing strong with the little black man. We voting NNP again. If it's not broken, we don't change it, nothing. They had the chance, they didn't do a thing. No. Now they come begging you for another try. Tell them Grenada is not a toy. We the leader, vibrant and strong. And a team that's second to none. Keep moving. Keep for the land and the universe. We keep getting better and better every year. If yellow turn to green, that is good for us. Grenada standing strong with the little black man. We voted the NNP, the Matic Kareku, Tutmuna Bepu. We voted the NNP, Grenada standing strong with the little black man. We voted the NNP, the Matic Kareku, Tutmuna Bepu. Going forward ever, building up Grenada. NNP have a plan to develop this nation. We vote the NNP again. We vote the NNP again.
I know who I voted for. NNP I voted for. Tell me who you voted for. NNP we voted for. So let's keep moving. The economy growing. Let's keep moving. Construction booming. Let's keep moving. Every man is smiling. Let's keep moving. Salary receiving. Healthcare improving.
Keep moving.
Pension coming.
Keep moving.
Better condition.
Keep moving.
NNP the party for the land. Let's keep moving. Show me your colors. Let's keep moving. Your brain colors. We came back in 2013 with a clean sweep we win 15. And my country progressing. NNPD winning team. 3,000 jobs for Imanis. The way forward weekly. Numbers of higher education. The password yet volume million. We create small business. We have the facts to prove this. Roaming bill in a day. NNP all the way. Let's keep moving. The economy growing. Let's keep moving. Construction booming. Let's keep moving. Every man is smiling. Let's keep moving. Salary receiving. Healthcare improving.
Keep moving.
Pension coming.
Keep moving.
Better condition.
Keep moving.
NNP the party for the land. Let's keep moving. Show me your colors. Let's keep moving. Your brain colors. X-ray unit in Maryville. Farmers and complaining no more. Hotels building from Liberia. No turning back, we shall prosper. Silverson and Mount Cinnamon. Development goes on. Transformation of TAPCC. School upgrade on the NNP. Jersey wing of the hospital. Almost complete and standing tall. Let us all come together and go the best of Grenada. Let's keep moving. The economy growing. Let's keep moving. Construction booming. Let's keep moving. Every man is smiling. Let's keep moving. Salary receiving. Healthcare improving.
Keep moving.
Pension coming.
Keep moving.
Better condition.
Keep moving.
NNP the party for the land. Let's keep moving. Show me your colors. Let's keep moving. Your brain colors. The party's strong and we're moving on. 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 Kirani James New Stadium. More investment to come. Training courses to China. India, Japan all over. NDC want this country. Forgetting the good pay salary. We ain't going back there. Vote in the house on election. Let's keep moving. The economy growing. Let's keep moving. Construction booming. Let's keep moving. Every man is smiling. Let's keep moving. Salary receiving. Healthcare improving.
Keep moving.
Pension coming.
Keep moving.
Better condition.
Keep moving.
NNP the party for the land. Let's keep moving. Show me your colors. Let's keep moving. Your brain colors. The party's strong and we're moving on. 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 The party's strong.
them break. Don't fix it, leave it so. And up to this day, this I still maintain. This is why I say, Nazim never again. Everybody know, about 6 years ago, where this country were, we can go back there no more. Not saying we reach, but we on that path. So let's keep moving with NNP. There is no turning back. Let the truth be told, one just can't ignore. Let's keep moving. Must admit we better off than before. Let's keep moving. We're on the right path, so no turning back. Let's keep moving.
And a good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott, here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. Wow, I got through that without making a single cough. It's been one of those weekends, yeah. You know, the flu been playing around here. Let me give you my voice properly, man. Yeah, the flu been playing around with me and my young one over the weekend, you know.
And even when they do, it always...
But if one of our loyal listeners made sure that I get fixed up before I leave, you understand? That's why I'm able to do the program tonight, yeah?
Was on a low, but who could blame them? All you didn't know head from toe. In almost 5 years, not one capital project. Construction was dead. Now you're talking about jobs like if you fall.
It's amazing when you listen to some one election campaign and you realize it's the same thing taking place with the bunch that in office now, eh? The same thing.
No turning back. Let's keep moving. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Give me the dance now. Moving. Yes, we move.
Yes, folks, and we say a special good night to those of you joining us via 91.9, 91.5 Real FM, broadcasting out of beautiful St. Patrick. So those of you listening via that frequency, we say a special good night to you. We know you're on with us on Mondays and Tuesdays. Yes, we are on Wednesdays and Thursdays as well, just not on, we're online. You have to check us online. All right, yeah. And if you want to check us online, you don't want people know that you're viewing because you're working with the government service, check for us on YouTube. You could subscribe and you could check for us on YouTube. As long as you don't comment on YouTube, nobody can tell that you're watching. All right? Nice. So remember, you could subscribe to YouTube if you want to be over there so nobody could tell that you're watching, because we realize some people say, victimization, them kind of thing. You understand?
The truth be told, one just can't know. Let's keep moving. Must admit we better off than before. Let's keep moving.
They said it's the most dangerous program on the Spice Isle right now. It's Talking Points.
Don't stop.
That has nothing to do with me. That has to do with you, the listeners and the commentators. Those of you that contribute to this program by calling and, giving the information. Yeah, you're the ones that make it the most popular and most dangerous program around, yeah?
Don't stop. Don't stop.
Let me say a special good night to all of you on the YouTube. Let me see, Sherma Jeremiah, good night to you, my dear. Good night to you, Zayla, Gavin Thomas, Faithlin, Hallie Douglas, Janice Mitchell, Dennis Bain, Kathleen Ledlow, Wilfred Antoine, Shenron Thomas, Wilfred, I call Wilfred already, Maria Noel, good night to you, Baby Daddy, Errol Bonaparte, Deborah Laborde, Jacinta Livingston, Phyllis Mitchell, Carib Spice, Jesse Sherry, Anne-Marie Celestine Grant, Kim Creedland, Agnes Henry, Bernie Ramsey, Anna Lewis, Kashima Roberts, Christine Otley, Jenna Benjamin, Alcy Peters, Matthew Bowen. Good night to you, bro. Yeah, let's start in the gate up there. The weather changing. Beer, good night to you. Patsy Frank, good life. Cynthia Bartholomew, Jakim Williams, good night to you as well. Cindy Thomas and Stephanie John, you and the whole home circle, good night to you, Stephanie. Jacket Man, good night to you, bro. And let me see, Claude Abraham, Marlon Panchu, Maud Martin, good night. Veronica Lewis and Michelle Alexander, I see you there. Public Notice, good night. Clive Raymond, Eliza Bernard, Amanda Moses, and Andrew Samina Batiste. Carl Jones, good night to you. Tan Sanderson, good night. Kathleen Knight, Edmund Callis, Anna Barbara Thomas, Lydia Isaac, Cosville Macmillan, Alban Harris, Dominic Antwine, good night to you. Alan Jones, good night to you, your lovely wife, and Zoe. Edmund Callis, good night to you. Chief Camahon, Islan Musk, Kester Victor, good night to all of you on the Talking Points tonight on YouTube. Those of you mentioned and unmentioned, we love each and every one of you. And let's go to the Facebook. Yeah, and Facebook is jumping. Ann Jackson, Phyllis Mitchell, Davis Charles, Latoya Maguire, Martin Charles, Brenda Bowler, good night to you. Carla Walcott, good night. June Julian, Nicole Batiste, Nurse Wendy Ann Maguire, where are you? Michael Vento, good night. Teresa Collymore, Cuz Adorable Cassie Gilbert Levine, good night to you. And Joan Henry, Francis Louison, I find you scarce these days. What happened to you, Papa? I find you scarce, Papa. Yeah. That's no way does roll. Langdon Jane, Sunny Isle, Kishon McSween, Donna Langdon. I see my nursey. Hey, look, my nursey right at the top, nursey in first of all. Nimrod Olivier, good night to you, my brother. Good night to all of the MPs. Yeah, good night to you, Honorable Clarice Modest. Good night to you, Honorable Kate Skeeter Lois Peters. Good night to you. Yes, the Honorable Emlyn Pear. Good night to you, the Honorable Peter David. Good night to you, Honorable Dr. Keith Claudius Mitchell, the former Prime Minister and leader of His Majesty's opposition. We say a special good night to you, sir. We hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful one. You understand? We playing a tune for the present government? Yeah, let me play a tune for the present government, man. We got to get them one too. And it is Monday, so we're going to open the phone lines from early o'clock. The phone lines are open. You can call. So you all will excuse the voice crackling and cracking a little every now and again. Yeah, and several people were trying to call me today, but the thing is the voice. Yeah, you understand what's going on. And remember, next week Sunday, it's coming up. Next week Sunday, we have an activity coming up. We have a date. So we're all heading to the Hard Court in St. John. That's where the New National Party will be having our social meet and greet. Looking forward to meeting all of you up there, right? So that's the social New National Party will be having. Let me see if I could pull it up and thing. Not talking, I like to show thing. Right, so the NNP social meet and greet, that'll be taking place in Go of St. John this coming Sunday. Not last week. Some people was asking if it was yes. No, dear. No. It's a Sunday coming. All right, at the Cuthbert Peters Hard Court, starting from midday, 12 noon. So eats and drinks, games, yeah, come and mingle. We's NNPites. We like to lime and hang out together when we get the opportunity. And so, you understand? Nice. We ain't have to do no gala. We ain't gala. Was gala or gala? I don't know. Anyway, but we ain't no gala. When we have time, we have a nice little social. We meet and greet and so. Right. So all my West Coast family, I expect to see you all there. My East Coast family, my North family, my South family. Yeah, even those of you from Carriacou and Petit Martinique who happen to be on the island, we expect to see you there. So that's the New National Party social meet and greet. That's happening this Sunday. This Sunday, the Sunday coming, right? This Sunday, it's happening at the Cuthbert Peters Hard Court from 1 p.m. So looking forward to seeing you all there. Remember as well, Lovers Night Out is coming up. All right, that's on the 28th of October. That's this Saturday. All right, so this Saturday, up there at the Arena Nightclub in Plains, St. Patrick's. All right, admission only $15. DJ's Mega Mix and Just Gus, that's the St. Patrick West NNP branch. So they're having that one. They say dress code Glow Style. Yeah, Glow Style. That is happening this Saturday. So Saturday, you could go out on your Lyman Lovers Night Out. You could take your lover. If you're looking for one, you might go. You might find one there too. But it's better to bring your own. All right, nice. So Lovers Night Out, back in time party, taking place at the Arena Nightclub this Saturday. All right, then remember the St. George Anglican Parish. They've got their mini fair. That's taking place on Wednesday. Yes, this Wednesday, the 25th October, 2023, between the hours of 1 and 10 p.m. Eats and drinks on sale. And of course, a solid bar awaits you. Proceeds in aids of the St. George Anglican Parish Organ Fund. So that is taking place at the St. Luke Church grounds down there in Grenville Vale, St. George. And of course, the Carriacou and Petit Martinique branch New National Party, they're having their fish fry fundraiser that's taking place next month. on the 18th of November, around the same time gas price changing again, right? So Saturday, November the 18th, all of you who are up in the US or will be in the US around that point in time, remember to head on there. Merrill, you and Yvonne, make sure all you're there, you know. Yes, I will send the address. Merrill and Yvonne, I'm calling out 2 people. You know me already, you know, calling out my people. Merrill and Yvonne, make sure all you're there. Nice. So that's the menu. They have fish, $25, so you get it fried, escovitch, etc., etc., etc. All right, chicken, pork, goat, cuckoo. Even though it's a fish fry, there are other things there too, right? Nice. Chow mein, rice and peas salads. It is taking place at 302 East 91st Brooklyn, New York 11212, between Lenox and Clarkson. So let me give that address again. It's 302 East 91st Brooklyn, New York 11212, between Lenox and Clarkson. And for tickets, you can call Nisha, and you can get her at 347-683-1997, Jacinta at 917-615-4918, and Wilson at 917-754-1319. I'm going to post these. I didn't post them yet to the Facebook page. I'm going to put them up on the Facebook page so that you all will know exactly what is happening. And then there is an activity. Let me just make sure. Yeah, the St. John New National Party, they have an activity that's PD4, so close to the Grand Roy Medical Station on Saturday, the 4th of November, not this Saturday, but the next Saturday, from 11 a.m. sharp. On sale, they'll have oil dung, barbecue chicken and pork, and so on. Yeah, so you could get your barbecue chicken, your barbecue pork, your oil long, and so that's happening not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. That's the New National Party, St. John branch, right? They're having that activity. Also, there's supposed to be one for the town of St. George. Can someone in the town of St. George send that activity for me? If it hasn't gone already, please send that activity for me so that I can put it up as well. All right, that's for the town of St. George. I know my good friends in the town of St. George are listening, so send for me the activity for the town of St. George. All right, nice, beautiful. So quite a few activities coming up. Hey, I realized they put out a poll, boy, asking you how your MP doing. While they're worried, I mean, after they say NNP going through, they say all kind of thing about NNP, and they're putting out poll to find out how their MPs are doing. They need no poll for that. I can tell them all the MPs doing terrible. They need to go. Yeah, they need a poll for that. They could just ask me or ask Talking Points. The people could call and tell all you. You don't need a poll to find out how your MPs doing in their constituency. Because, folks, if you all realize what is taking place, they're in a mad rush to try and complete projects and complete different things right now. And here the best thing, the projects are not projects that they initiated. We are still waiting to see the projects that are happening in communities and constituencies that was started, initiated by the NDC. We're still waiting to see those. But you know, budget coming up. Don't be surprised tomorrow you hear they announce budget happening on this day, because there's a parliament sitting tomorrow. Huh? Yeah, there is a parliament sitting tomorrow, again with some important bills taking place tomorrow. There will be a parliament sitting, so you need to pay attention to that. But don't be surprised to hear them announcing the budget date and say budget is happening on this day, November or early December or whatever it is. But budget day is coming up, which means each of their nothing doing members are going to have to stand up and are going to have to defend what it is that they claim to have done in the last 365 days or so. Yeah, they are going to have to answer for everything. They're going to have to say what it is they have done, what it is they have achieved. They're going to have to come to you, the Grenadian people, and the constituents to say what they have achieved. And you and I know that there isn't really anything they can speak about. For instance, and the phone lines are open, 440-7377 and 347-329-3101 for those of you in the US. You can call as well, and you can call us on WhatsApp on 440-7377. Now, for those of you, for instance, for those of you in Carriacou, of all the projects you're seeing taking place, what's taking place in the botanical gardens and many of the other little infrastructural projects that you see taking place, were any of those initiated by the present MP? Or were those not projects that you already heard were in the budget and in the works to be done in 2022 and 2023 by the former MP, the then Honorable Kyndra Mathurin Stewart? Yeah? Because when you look at it, what has that MP initiated? So there are some roads that were done that were not initiated by that MP. They try to claim ownership, and how they try to claim ownership of these things is that they go around them, they take photographs with them pointing and looking and who does take stick and joke hole and all kind of thing, but they come around these projects and they try to claim ownership of it simply because they are there now. But remember, I told you all before, in spite of and not because of them. So when you're seeing things taking place in all the constituencies around the island, they are happening in spite of the MP and not because of the MP, because these were initiated before by the new National Party within that constituency. So I'm still waiting with bated breath for the budget so that we can hear from those MPs on the government side what it is that they have initiated, what new have they come with within their constituencies that was not already being done by the new National Party. Yeah? So you see some of them running to cut ribbon, a school fix, them kind of thing, when they know that the funding, everything was secured, down to contractors secured under the new National Party. Simply, it started at a particular time that they were the MP. So they had no input in that. Yeah? I was listening a bit earlier. I didn't get a chance to listen to the entire thing. Donna Langdon, good night to you. Hey, Martin and Miss V, good night to both of you. I was listening to a program a little earlier, and I was hearing the MP for the South trying his very best to claim certain things. Let me tell you all something. Leading up to the election campaign of 2022, when Senator Norland Cox was the person leading for the new National Party within that constituency, there were several projects initiated in the south of the island. One of them, I can state clearly, and I can prove, I could always go and dig up all this stuff and show you, were the lighting of various playing fields. Springs was one. Lighting of the Springs playing field. That was one of the playing fields that Senator Cox had organized to have lit. In fact, nearly all the playing fields in the south, if you really look at it, because you had Montrouge. You're seeing the pillars up now and the lights up there and everything. They're looking to turn it on close to budget time because they want to be able to say, hey, look what we do. We achieve all of this in 1 year time. Look, we were able to achieve. But that's not your project. That was organized under Norland Cox. He was the one that organized the project and everything. If you change contractors, you change. But all of that was organized under Norland Cox. So they're looking to put on the lights now. I see they're rushing to try and finish the tennis court now. They want to try and finish that because they want to go in budget. And when the time comes to speak about the constituency, they want to speak about these projects as though these were projects that they initiated. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they should not do the projects. It's a good thing that they're doing the projects because the projects are beneficial to the people of the constituency. But give Jackie jacket and Jane she blouse. Yeah? Don't try to make it look as though this is something that only initiated, like if Grenada started on the 23rd of June. So you see them now, the traffic lights are on, and I see some of them jumping up now and they're trying to take credit for the traffic lights. Oh, look, we have traffic lights now. This government real doing what? Again, same Norland Cox, you know. Same Norland Cox. In fact, when that project was announced, I believe it was in 2020 or 2021, when that project was announced, it was the same voices that you're seeing jumping up on social media now, saying, excellent job, Andy Williams, as though Andy has something to do with that. It happened in spite of he, not because of he. But you see, Andy Williams wants to give everybody the impression that things are happening because of him. But things are happening in spite of him. You don't think the people in the ministry know what to do? They know what to do. And if given the opportunity, they will do it. And properly too. But you have these people that are trying to give the impression that everything that's happening now is happening because of them. I won't go into the Latin tonight. We speak in English. Yeah? That everything is happening because of them. When in truth and in fact, these things are happening in spite of them. Again, and this is this is on people like me, we did not do a good enough job of letting everyone know what the New National Party was doing as a government. That is an indictment on me. I don't take blame and share it to other people. I'm one of the people that have to take the blame for that. But we passed that stage already. So I'm telling you all now. So when it comes to the traffic lights, take your memory back to when that was announced, and who were the voices that were jumping up and saying, waste our money, we don't need traffic lights. And what we need traffic lights for, because we have wardens. And we have wardens, and we bring in wardens, and now we have traffic light and all that sort of thing. Who were the voices? Now look back at what they were saying back in 2020, 2021, and now look at what they're saying, that the traffic lights have been turned on. Oh, wonderful achievement. You don't see my government working? The same people who were cussing and saying, waste our money. Because you had to have the traffic lights refitted. You had to have new traffic lights placed. Because the old ones, the company that used to do that, those traffic lights were there over 20 years or more. That company no longer existed. You couldn't get replacement parts. So you had to come and do a new system. And all of that was organized under the New National Party. Now the implementation seems to be a bit scraggly, because I'm hearing complaints. You will hear complaints, but I'm hearing complaints. But understand, this is not an achievement of this administration, because they're going to go into the budget debate. Yes, there will be a debate, and a healthy one at that. There will be a debate. Hopefully, people on the other side wouldn't be telling people, shut up and hush your mouth and them kind of stupidness this time. I hope they have matured enough so that they can stop that foolishness. Yeah? That they can shut up from telling people shut up. I hope they have matured to that level that they can listen and try to learn. But that is what they're going to do. So you see them rushing to try and complete a little piece of road here, a little piece of bridge there. They're trying to complete a drain. They run into Opma Community Center. And remember, those community centers are community centers that were slated for refurbishment. Health centers, same thing. But they want to say that they achieve. So they're rushing now to say, well, this is what they achieve. What have they, in the time that they have been in, really and truly achieved? What have they achieved? What have you, the average Grenadian, seen that you can say that, yes, this government is working. They have done that. They have done this. Have they created employment? Every time the New National Party read a budget, you would hear, this hotel chain is coming to Grenada. They are building this here in St. David. That's going to provide 400 jobs in the construction phase, 200 jobs afterwards. And oh, there's a second hotel coming to St. David, and it's going to provide X amount of jobs in the construction phase and X amount of jobs at the end. And wait, there's a hotel in St. Patrick, and it's going to, how much jobs in the construction phase, how much jobs on the completion. Yeah? That you heard projects that were coming in. And the government of the day was able to say to the Grenadian people, these are how many new jobs would be created within the first quarter, the second quarter, the first half of the year, the second half of the year, or within a 2-year period. These are the numbers of jobs that would be created. This government can't do that. They can't. Instead, the member of parliament for South St. George, I see him trying to pass off the project on the airport as though that's one of their projects, and there's a project that came in as soon as them come in, the NDC come up with that project, and that's a new project that they just come up with the air bridge and so on. No. These were the same people that when the New National Party signed that agreement in 2021 for that project were the ones that were saying, one, they were saying that the Chinese cannot be trusted. I'm saying what members of this current administration say, and I want the Chinese embassy to hear it, because I realize that the ambassador walking around with the Prime Minister. Mr. Ambassador, I want you to take a look back at what these people who are in office now were saying about your government and your people. Where they were saying that you all are not to be trusted, and the Belt and Road Initiative is something not to be trusted, and Grenada should not go into any loan agreement with you all, and you all tricky, and all sorts of nasty things they were saying. There are articles in newspapers from the period 2021 into 2022 speaking about that loan that was obtained by Grenada to do that airport project, the same project that the people who condemn it now trying to claim. And it's to see them, grinning. Yes, we're doing the air bridge. Who we? We're doing the air bridge between, so now when you come off the plane, instead of coming off the plane and walk on the ground and go into the terminal, you'll just walk off the plane straight into the building. That's what we do. Who is the we? Papa, yo, in spite of and not because of. They have no input in that. Their government, the people who are doing the contract, may have to come to them and say, listen, we need to bring in this piece of equipment, or we need to bring in this material that does not exist in Grenada. We need a concession to do that. Yeah, they come to you for a concession or so, but outside of that, that was not your idea, in fact. And I hope she gets the opportunity and calls tonight. When the Honorable Clarice Modest spoke on that in Parliament, you had people like Jimmy Bristol attacker. George Worm was having articles on this loan over a number of weeks. When you looked at some of the comments on social media in relation to the same loan that was taken to develop the airport as it is being developed now, that this government is trying to make it look like it's them that doing it. And yeah, them that doing it because this government is a continuum, they're there. But that was not a brainchild. That was not an idea of them. It came from the last administration that looked and said, hey, we need to improve the airport because your airport could be downgraded. And if you do not take the time to ensure that you manage your facility and upgrade your facility every now and again, you run the risk of your airport being downgraded. And then if they're downgraded to a certain level, certain flights will not be allowed to fly to them. So you'd have a situation that, for instance, if you are downgraded to a particular point, Air Canada, American Airlines, JetBlue, they cannot fly here. They would have to fly to another location, and then you'd have to take a plane from there to get into Grenada because your airport is decertified. So to avoid that and to go a little above what they're looking for, that is why the New National Party ensured that they secured that loan to get the airport facility developed as it is being developed right now. So don't come with this thing to try and make it look as though, I'm doing so much work. It's happening in spite of and not because of. And we have to be clear on that. Yes, it's happening in spite of and not because of. Because some people, they put on the traffic lights now, yes. Jenny talk about it on Thursday. I talk about it on Thursday as well. And you see what Auntie Jenny make them do? She make them go, they rush and put it on. It is happening. And it is happening in spite of and not because of. We've got a call online. Good night.
Hey, good night.
Hi, good night.
Yeah, you had the recording of 2021 in what position?
I've got those things. I don't have it here right now. I will play it when the time comes.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, I've got those things. I could pull up the articles that were written in the New Today attacking. I don't see the New Today saying anything about the airport project right now because you see the hypocrisy. When it happens under the New National Party, it's bad. When it happens under the NDC, it's good. That's the sort of attitude. Yeah? We have a caller online. Good night.
That's the sort of
Hello?
yeah. We have a caller online. Good night.
Hello?
Good night.
Well, that people I want to hear from. Good night to you, ma'am. Oh, could you move away a bit from the noise in the background is
No, well, I have
echoing.
to say something.
No, but the noise in the background is
Yes,
echoing.
let me
so-
move away. Let me
yeah.
move away. Let me move away.
And folks, in case you have not made out the voice, it's that lovely lady. I
Let
call her
me
the
say
lioness in the in the West. She eats
Let me
everything
tell
that
you,
comes.
I never know a little back could have take blows so. This little back of mine take blows for that airport. Verbally, in the written word, in the spoken word, there was a certain gentleman calls me frequently. Why are we taking that money? The debt would have to be, we're going to leave the debt there for other people to pay. I wonder who will be paying that debt now that the NDC is going forward with the work. And these were things that were essential if you have to be competitive. First of all, if you love your people, you would want to give them certain conveniences. And if you love people in general, you want to have safety for them. And if you, as they say, tourism perhaps is the second pillar, competing with the first pillar of construction as an economic earner for the country. And we haven't gotten to the position yet. Some people don't like tourism and they say a lot of things, but I haven't seen the alternative that could get us to the point where we will completely do away with tourism. And, you know, all Caribbean islands are very similar. Of course, Grenada has its high points in terms of the people, their friendliness, how they relate with people. People love that. People love the Grand Anse Beach, how many miles of nice white sand, or waterfalls. They love a lot of things. But you have to have certain things in place to make them feel comfortable, to have a serious edge on other countries. You look at the airports in the region. St. Vincent, when we started that, negotiating, St. Vincent was building, right? St. Vincent has an airport with the facilities we're talking about, and so on. Antigua, you go to Antigua Airport. It's a huge airport with all of the bridges, the conveniences, VIP lounges, several VIP lounges, and so on. While we were still there with we had one road to pass through the airport to get into places like Sandals and so on. In other countries, the airport road is the airport road. And if you're talking about safety and security, that is how it should be, so that people traveling on that road should be going to do business at the airport. Pick up somebody, drop off somebody, pick up something, but you're going on airport business. And that's why the bypass road at the top was necessary.
Well, you know, they're claiming that as an achievement of the NDC as well. And they pretty well will be coming in budget to say they achieved that. So they're also claiming that one.
Well, we're going to hear. We are going to hear. And I am so glad now that we're making, and that is why I come on, because sometimes I listen to the program and I say nothing, because I always believe it's the people's forum, the people who do not have a voice. But when these things come up, I realize that we did ourselves a disservice by not boasting about it and letting people maybe make us feel that something was wrong. So even NNPIs, they hear that and they don't want to say it. They hear what we're doing, but they're not sure. And we need to give them that assurance. The bridges nowadays, you come from a big airline like American, Virgin, and you have to come down steps. You have all kinds of passengers. Persons who are physically very active and can just jump down, run down the steps and run up. There are people who need assistance, wheelchairs and other things. They cannot come directly from the plane on a wheelchair to the reception area to where they can check with immigration and so. And most of the other islands have that. Other countries have that. And if you have to cater for people with all kinds of disabilities and so on, so that everyone has an opportunity to come to the lovely Spice Island. So we're going to do that, upgrade certain areas, have an area for more of the shops because we want the tourists to leave a little dollar even when they leave in Grenada. And to leave a dollar when they enter in, because duty free in a lot of countries. You go in the UK, you pass the duty free shop and you buy as you're going in. And you can buy again as you're going out. And so we wanted to create space for that and to have a separate place for disaster, because an airport always has the potential to have disasters with planes having difficulties to land and so on, and you need a whole area where people can muster and get together and look at the situation and deal with the situation. So everything that was conceived, everything that was negotiated was necessary for the proper functioning. And I didn't talk about the resurfacing. We had to resurface the whole of the runway and create a holding space so that one plane just lands, another plane can take off. And all of these things. Because we have so much to offer, but if we are not offering an attractive and comfortable entry and exit, because if the first thing that people see is they have to come down a step and they have problems, they have to walk with a stick and so on, all of these things are daunting, and people might say, why didn't I stay on another island or go there? So in order to be competitive, these things need to be done. But all of these things were launched, work was started before NDC, and the NDC supporters, who were the naysayers, did not want it. All of a sudden, they learned that it is necessary. So all of a sudden, they want it. And they don't just want it, they thief in it. But it is ours. And I was there in the discussions from the beginning. The then Minister for Work, Honorable Gregory Bowen. I remember the Ministry of Agriculture had a portion too, because you have to also upgrade facilities for shipping of cargo and receiving of cargo,
yes,
especially perishable foods and so on. So all that was in the making, everything necessary for our Grenadians to operate, to do business, and for when people travel, whether they are Grenadian people, here, locals, or in the diaspora, and our visitors, they have some measure of comfort. And before I leave, I want to talk about one other, I don't know if you said it before, Fort George.
Oh, yes, I didn't even get to that one. Go down the road.
Was negotiated.
Go ahead.
You leave that one for down the road?
No. Go ahead. You go ahead with it now.
No, I just want to clear the air on that.
No, go ahead. Go right ahead. Say everything.
No, it is easy. It is easy to eat food. It is easy to eat food when you have it handed to you on a platter. Well cooked, nicely garnished, looking good. It is not so easy when you have to go and search for it. When you have to beg Miss Mary for something, Miss Jane, when you have to look for if you can't do it yourself, you have to look for somebody to do it. You have to look for the firewood if you're cooking on fire. You have to look for the kerosene or the gas to do it. It is not so easy. And so they have jumped on something that is going to help them, that they think would help them. But I'm glad we have more of a voice now, and we have to use it. Now, they made something on a silver platter handed up to them, and they boast. And the people in the Ministry of Tourism could verify that I was the one who took the World Bank people to the fort. When I realized that we were going slow, yes, we had some slow periods. I will be first to admit. And it gave me some periods of anxiety. And therefore, I had to jump in the fray. And I took them. And while I don't know all of the history of the fort, what happened in recent years, just a few days ago, there were celebrations about certain things that happened on the fort and so on. And I don't want this to be the topic of my contribution tonight. However, I had to tell them all about what happened on the fort and so on on October 19th, and impress upon them the importance of it to the people of Grenada and the importance of this as a tool to interest tourists. Because if you go in Vietnam, and I haven't been there, but people will tell you, and you just have to go on the internet. You remember the Vietnam War?
Yeah.
The people use that, the stories. They make artifacts out of it. They do paintings, they do things, and they sell it. They sell a part of their history. But the thing is, when you sell your history, you still keep your history. And therefore, it was not negotiated by them. They perhaps would not have even thought about it. And, I think it is shameful for them to try to piggyback on every little thing and jump on it and say that is theirs. All they should have said, as one or two of the ministers have said in certain events that I went to, if something is good and you see that it's good, you continue it and you bring it to fruition, but don't boast. But at this part I'm saying for myself now, don't boast about something that you did not bring. And the last thing I want to say is, if something was designed, conceived, carried out, executed for the people of Grenada, if it was done for the poor people, for God's sake, give it to them and do not leave them destitute, because the government has a responsibility. They have a duty to take care of the poor. In every country, there will be poor. Some people act as though they hate poor people, as they should not be in Grenada. We did not cultivate poverty. Poverty is there. And as a government, NNP did a lot to alleviate poverty. If you look at the track record of scholarships that were negotiated under the New National Party, I know there were quite a number of scholarships during the revolution. But even that cannot touch what NNP has done over the years. So I want to see the people get the houses that were for them. It wasn't even enough, and we were looking at the next phase. But even the little they have, they changed it from low income to middle income. It never was middle income. And I want them to go and find any document where anything was signed, where the word middle income came. It never was. The middle income project in Diamond in St. Mark was done before. And it's there for everyone to see, a beautiful area called Diamond. And now the time is for the low income persons, and for also the government should look at a way to have a few facilities, a few of them, maybe the one bedroom, for the low income people as well. So low income and no income, give them a chance to have something that they can call their own. And with this, I end so that your people can have enough time either to react to this, what I have said, or to talk about other things. But these projects are all NNP projects. And you know why it's important? I went to a funeral today, and me and a good friend were together. And she's probably listening. And she said, can we go up that road? That road fixed? I said, Madam, this road fixed long, NNP fixed that road right up to go up to the cemetery in Coast Guard.
Mm-hmm.
And when she made that turn and she saw the beautiful road, she was impressed. She said, well, we had to drink a little something on that. We had to show a little, how they call the thing? They just
libation.
A little libation there. So, again, we do not blow our trumpet. So thank you for the opportunity to blow a little trumpet tonight.
And I know
God
you've
bless
got...
Grenada, Carriacou, City, Martinique. Good night to all of your listeners.
Doc, I wouldn't hold you.
Here, tell others, spread the word. These are our projects. I'm still waiting for them to come with a project that is theirs from start to finish. Thank you.
All right. And folks, I won't hold Doc tonight because she has Parliament in the morning and they have serious preparation for Parliament in the morning because there are 2 bills that coming up there. Papa yo. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. Yes. Hello. Hello. Okay, I think that person may have had a little error with their phone there. Yes, 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Yes, indeed. I just call her the lioness because everybody that go up there get eat up. Yes, that is my doc, Dr. Clarice Modest. Yes, indeed. Lovely lady, eh? Lovely lady. Roots lady. Lovely lady. Folks, 440-7377. And yeah, that 4th project, and she mentioned the 4th project. I remember that as well because I sat on the board of the Cultural Foundation, and during meetings, that upcoming project was mentioned as well. We've got a caller online. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, caller. You're live. Go right ahead. You're live. Good night. Right? Yes, go right ahead.
No. What are calling tonight about, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I find we just get sidetracked by stuff that it because my point tonight is about the Japanese with the
toxic waste
they wanted to drop in the
not a word, not a word, not a peep.
And with not one word. He said that we haven't talked the Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize what they did? They bring the housing thing to just take it away, to keep us occupied on that. There's a lot of things to do with that, and they don't want the public to know what's going on. What they did, nobody knows. What was the outcome? Nobody knows.
You're making a valuable point because we did not revisit that issue. One or 2 people messaged me and asked me what's the update on it.
Yeah.
But in fact, they didn't even admit that the discussion was taking place. It took place. We know that it was scheduled to take place, but we never heard from our government if they agree, if they don't agree. So we don't know.
Yeah, because the next morning, the Friday, when they had us when they had us to go and have to talk, I come in on the church and all them government ministers from other countries coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And you're correct. Around that same time is when they started on the housing.
Yeah. So when something, the issue, because listen, the first was Kuwanabe.
Mm-hmm.
After Kuwanabe, they come with to take us away from that. They bring the Japanese issue. Now, they bring the houses. And these people is not giving us any information of what is taking place, what they are doing. I pray, I waiting for that time for they let me hear that about you too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward, brother. I really want to hear what they come in and say.
Yeah. Because they're not doing anything. And okay, the traffic light, I ain't saying it's a bad thing, but come on. The traffic light this morning had people after 12, had people from Lagoon Road back up from the food fair.
Let me ask you a question. Did you receive any notification? Did you see anything put out by the government that they're testing or they're putting on the traffic lights?
No.
Did anybody, and I'll ask this to everybody that's listening, you could send it in a message, you could say it in the chat. Did any of you see anything from the government? Because something like that, after people have gotten accustomed to passing the location and no lights, you have to notify the public that, look, we turning on the lights, we checking them. But you see, it's a rush. Everything is a rush now because
Yeah.
budget come in. They have to answer. They have to stand and others go it stand and defend. They have to stand
Yeah.
and defend. Budget come in.
Oh boy. I want to hear what they cover with and what achievement that they make. Because as far as I see, they don't do one. These
Oh, boy.
people do not care about poor people. All they care about is themselves and the higher class. They want to be on social media. Every 2 minutes they want to be on social media. And the next thing is on a plane.
Go ahead.
The Prime Minister is a pilot right now. The only time he is here is when the plane is grounded to take our next flight.
My goodness. All right.
Yeah? Well,
Kuala, thank you so very much for your input, my brother.
you're welcome.
All right. I see you fighting up with the throat like me, don't worry. I tell you what, the listeners make sure. Kate, she makes sure. So yes, I'm not drinking anything cold, I'm drinking it warm. Yes, that's what helping the throat tonight. All right, 440, let me make sure it's clear. 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. We have a caller on the line. Good night.
Hey, good night.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good to hear Mr. Carlos Morris Cohen, but at the end of it, did not come with some items for the hospital, and I know they want to take. They want to take note and say is them we get it to, but it gives to Ms. Carlos Morris for the health ministry in St. Max. All right,
my brother. Well, no, they can't claim that it's them that do that facility in St. Mark, that facility and not in spite of and not because of. Yeah, the other day I see they had it's the MRI, yeah, they go and they turn it on, do like they having ceremony and that desperation. Yeah, right now I don't call them desperados, desperation. All right, 440-7377. And we have a call online. Good night.
Hello, good night, Mr. Sheldon. Mr. Greenman is here.
Mr. Greenman.
What's up, my boy?
I'm good, my brother. Remember, Sunday.
I'm there. I want another 3 jerseys again.
Okay, call me direct.
Call
me direct after the program, yeah.
I want to make a point here.
Mm-hmm.
The light in the past here in Springs.
Yeah.
I mean, everything set up already, but they don't put on the light yet.
They waited. They go put it on just now, brother. Don't worry. You're worried, them people and them, they're listening talking because points tonight. So they're going to put it on.
Everybody asking me, so, good man, what going on?
If all they wanted it on, all they had to do was ask me.
Anyway, later.
All right, brother.
All right, okay, right, yeah.
Because it seems as though when we say it here, it's either we are goat mouth or something, but when we say it here, it happened because, I mean, look at the one up in that's the Limes. They turn on the one in the Limes, and we know that entire project, from the playing field to the road leading into the Limes that was in a bad condition, it is Nolan Cox that ensured that road was fixed. It is Nolan Cox that start putting in the bleachers and so on, doing the refurbishment work on the basketball court. It is Nolan Cox that ensured that the playing field was leveled and so on, and they put the little thing for drainage to the back. It was Nolan Cox that ensured that those lights that you're seeing on there right now, those lights in the Limes, it is Nolan Cox that ensured that all of that do. But you see, other people want to run in the budget now and say, oh, we achieved it, look what we do. Yeah, right. We have a call online.
Good night, Sheldon.
Good night, my dear.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
I have to say thanks to Senator Cox. We have the lights in the south now, and that was paid for already with the contractor and everything to get done. So Andy cannot take the praise for that.
But that's what they're doing.
To Senator Nolan Cox that come and boost up the South and make the South right. Thanks to Senator Nolan Cox, not Andy. Thank you.
All right, my dear. But I'm somebody who know what's going on. 440-7377, 347-329-3101. Folks, also remember the St. David, the women's arm of the St. David New National Party. They are having their barbecue on the 3rd of November. It's Friday. Yeah, Friday the 3rd of November from 11 a.m. So go on out, support them. Yeah, $20, $25. According to if you're taking chicken, fish, or pork and thing, you get nice sides with it. Nice. So that's the St. David's women's arm of the New National Party. I'm saying St. David's, sorry. St. David women's arm of the New National Party. They are having that activity on the 3rd of November. You can check them out. All right, nice. Beautiful. And having it at the constituency office up there, the New National Party office right down there in Lassa. Just right. Check them out there. So they're going to have the barbecue. All right. And you could get your drinks and different things. So don't go and play. Just buy your barbecue and go, buy a couple of drinks. And if you want to leave a 2 day for me, leave it there. Tell them what you pay for that 2 day for shall land. All right? You understand? No, I ain't going to drink all. I will bring somebody to drink it with me. All right? Nice. Well, some bodies. A few hours go come. Nice? Nice. Say you leave 2 for Prince Day. You leave out 2 for Mosquito. You leave out 2 for shall land until you leave the day. We will get it. All right? Yeah. But when you go up there, make sure you do a little song. You understand? Nice. 440-7377. Or the WhatsApp quad. So tonight, nobody ain't call on the WhatsApp. Hey, Dr. Julie Dubois. How are you doing, my dear? Hope you're having a fabulous night tonight. All right, yeah. Listen, I remember years ago, coming in on a flight. The flight arrived. Rain was falling heavy. You had to sit down on the plane. You can't disembark. You could not come off the plane. When the rain started to ease up, what they did, and a lot of you know about this one, they give you the little plastic kind of raincoat. For you to make it, you have to try and make it as fast as you could over to the terminal, because remember, we don't have buses taking people from the plane over to the terminal and that kind of thing, not for that distance. All right, so it is thought now the better thing to do is to have the air bridge so that you don't have that situation, because on that same flight with me were people in wheelchair bound people and other people. So it was a problem. It is still an existing problem, but it was a problem that was identified under the New National Party. We have to fix this. We have to upgrade to this. Yes, so when some people trying to give you the impression now that it's them that doing it. Also, you have major hotel projects in St. David and St. Patrick, and you have other projects in the south of the island that's going to increase your room stock and increase the amount of people that want to come into Grenada, because you have facilities who are attached to brands that are going to market Grenada even more outside there. And therefore, more people will want to come to Grenada. You'll have to add on more flights to get more people into Grenada. And if that is the case, you don't want a situation where people have to sit down in a plane on the tarmac and wait until the rain cease, or wait until the rain ease up to put on a raincoat and try to run across a poncho kind of thing they give you, that the airline have, they give you. And you have to try and run across now to go into arrivals. Yeah, and then the people now who have to go on to the plane have to go through a similar problem. Right? Delays because of that. Come on. Right? But there are people that was upset, making all sorts of noise and accusations. In the news today, you had Jimmy Bristol saying the thing is bubble. Well, who? The NNP ain't doing it now, so who in the bubble now? Are we selling out to China and that kind of thing? I'm saying it because I see the Chinese ambassador walking around with the PM when the PM go and do political work. So I'm saying it. Yeah, because you need to know who you're hanging around. Nice. We've got a call online. Good night.
Shalan.
Good night.
Good night, sir. What going on?
I'm quite fine. You go right ahead, man.
That is why they grabbing so, because they grabbing and do this kind of stupidness with the hotel in Kawana Bay, making our children and our grandchildren have to go and pay this thousands and thousands of dollars.
Hey, no, hold on, brother. Hey, wait, hold on.
$22 million.
Millions, not thousands, millions.
That people who work for our grandchildren and our children have to go back and pay for it. That's why they grabbing so to say it's them that do it. They like to grab.
They grabbing the hand sticky. They like to grab. Let it grab. But we don't stupid. Grenadians is not stupid people. We know that all this project was done and was initiated by the new National Party. And anybody was standing up and say, Andy do this and Andy do that and NDC do that, tell them it's joke they're making. Man, we can't stand it. Our children and our grandchildren have to pay back the amount of money we have to pay back. The $22 million, 18 million ECU pay for our hotel. That's one of the things that's bleeding my heart every day. Plus the poor people with the housing. Man, watch. These people are them, they're too wicked. They're Jezebel set of people. Thank you very much, sir.
440, let's behave ourselves. 440-7377. Yeah, we been calling people them kind of name. 440-7377. That's the number to call and get onto the inside. And folks, remember, even with all of this, even with all of this, these are the same people that when they passed the supplementary back in August, was it August, July, August, somewhere they passed the supplementary. They also passed the loan authorization to go and borrow, and then they say, well, they didn't make up their mind what they're borrowing for yet. But they borrow the money, you know. They have not borrowed the money. But have they said to us, what are the terms and conditions of that loan? How much is the interest rate, everything? Nothing. We're still waiting to hear.
Mr. Sheldon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good morning again.
Yes, sir.
Listen now, I found to tell you that. I went in some store Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And you have people 7 people were in that store. And I went there one day this week, he only had 2 persons in there. So I said, where my friend and them, they said things slow, they said no. I said, no, not things slow, things bad. Dead. They started to laugh. So the company and them send you workers because money don't creating. People don't making money. And right now, the government now want to raise people's salary now. The company and them taking in front to send home people. In many different stores I go in. And they say, well, things dead, things so.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In an empty time, they say, they're making a lot of money. Why now they can make money? Because you don't have the spending power. The people who are spending their home, you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's the people who have spend money to their home. The people who get in all the money, they're not spending money. They're banking the money because they know. It's just a short time today. So when NNP come back now, they know, well, NNP in power, so, you know. But that is not fair. Everybody leaving in Grenada, everybody that Grenadian, they so get what they get to spend to keep the economy growing. But this government don't see fit to give people jobs and people open the way for people. And that is unfair. I am against that. I don't like that. Because people crying, people bawling. Sharon, you take care.
All right, my brother. All right. Yes, indeed. 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to call and get on to the inside. Yeah. But you see, you all had to go out there and defend it because these people are giving the impression that this is theirs. When you can remember when the new National Party initiated these things. The project on the fort, and you hear them talking about, implementation. What could you implement during the years 2020 and 2021? So if you're looking at implementation over a 5-year period, inclusive of those 2 years, definitely your implementation rate will be low. That would be the case throughout the world, not just Grenada. Any country, could be the US, the UK, Russia, wherever you go, your implementation rate for the years 2020 and 2021 would be very low. Whatever you planned in your budget for 2020 in 2019, because of the COVID pandemic and because of the various measures that were taken, not just by governments in the Caribbean, but outside of the Caribbean too, and it affected various things. It affected the flow of materials, building materials, food stuff, different things, equipment, all of that. The supply chains were affected. So your rate of implementation would not be in the 80s and 90s and that sort of thing if you're taking into consideration those years and what you had to achieve in those years. There were schools that had to be repaired, community centers that had to be repaired, and so on. Various construction projects that were taking place during those years that had to be pushed back because of the different things. You remember there's a point in time construction companies could not operate because you didn't want people to be going and getting the virus on the construction sites and so on, then bringing it home to their families and different things like that. So down to construction, all of that was stopped. And then you had to kind of take it back slowly and then gatherings a certain amount of people, so you couldn't have a construction site with 50 and 60 men on it, and so you had a limited amount of people that you could have in any one location. People with businesses had to have half of the staff come this day, half come the other day, some work from home, all different sort of thing. So when they're speaking about implementation, don't let them disrespect your intelligence. Never let them disrespect your intelligence. Tell them as it is. This is the reality. This is what was taking place during that period of time that would affect your implementation rate. But when it comes to the fourth, you still had the guy from France that was here doing work during that period of time when they're claiming nothing was done between when the loan was obtained. And that is not true. Because even during COVID, you had a guy here from France, one or two of them, I think, at least, from France, that were doing work in relation to Fort George here in Grenada. I know that. So when they tried to give you the impression nothing was done and so on, that is absolute nonsense. So I'm interested when budget time come around to see what it is that they're going to be telling the Grenadian people. I'm very interested to hear what it is that they would be coming with.
Grenada in trouble, real trouble. Grenada in trouble, no trouble. Grenada in trouble, real trouble. Grenada in trouble, no trouble. Grenada in trouble, controlled by.
Oh boy, and we lost that call. Caller, call back. Let me see. Yeah, caller, give us a call back. You know, I want to play I just want to play 3 quick ones for you from last week, because an issue I wanted to bring up last week, but I didn't get the opportunity to do so because we were speaking about some other things, inclusive of the fact that, and I want to ask this question, and it's a question, if you all get the opportunity, I hope that you all can ask as well. Who were they lighting candles for on Thursday last? Who were they lighting candles for? Because it's kind of interesting to me. I want to know. Because if we have no heroes, why were certain names being called on National Heroes Day? If we have no heroes, it's not Memorial Day, it's not Martyrs Day, it is National Heroes Day. As per the Prime Minister of Grenada, we have no national heroes at this point in time. At this point in time, we have no national heroes. Then why were certain names being repeated? Who here was lighting candle for if we have no national heroes? And then, as I said on another forum just yesterday, when it comes to who or what is a national hero, I think that we have to understand there are 2 different categories that you have to look at here. One, there's the person who committed a heroic act. That is one, that is a hero. Are we going to say a national hero? Maybe not. But that person is a hero. So that person saved somebody's life. I remember there's a young man in Guelph. He had dived in and saved somebody's life. He gave them CPR and so on. Right. That's a hero. The bus went down in the water. The guys jumped down and started to pull out people. Hero. They have done a heroic act. But there are other people who, through their life of service, you could go back and you could show various things and say through a life of service, have done heroic deeds towards the state of Grenada. Yeah? Sometimes even with condemnation and all these sorts of things, they have done things that would place them in the category of national hero. Not a singular deed, but a life of service over a period of time. So I think it's time people start to look at this thing properly, because you hear the saying national hero and then you hear people saying, but why not this fella and why not that fella and why not this one? But a broad discussion, because in my mind, especially after Thursday, I am settled in my mind that it don't matter what any of us say. This government already settled on who the national heroes are. Eh? Let's just make that clear. They're going to have the consultation, same way they had consultation when it came to marketing and National Importing Board. But they already had in their mind exactly what they're going to do. Although we ain't seen nothing happen with Marketing Board, so maybe I have to wait until budget to hear what's going on with Marketing Board. So maybe we have to wait until then. But they already have their national heroes. Yeah? And it seems to me as though what the Prime Minister says goes in this thing, and it seems you've been hearing him. Remember, that's the same people that stand up, Maurice, we need you. Maurice, come back. Maurice, we need you. And then after that, they never remember another birthday with Maurice Bishop again. Yeah, these are the same people. Right? So just remember, they already set in their minds who their national heroes are. Whether you agree or disagree, they don't care. They've already set in their mind who their national heroes are. Whether they put together a committee, whether they come in a community and have meetings or call-ins, or they tell people writing and so on, it don't matter. All of that is just window dressing. They already have in their minds who their heroes are. And they showed that clearly on Thursday. Just note that, right? So folks, on another issue, I just wanted to play this one for you. And this is from Parliament sitting last week. I think it's important for you to hear what our MPs had to say in relation to the legal fees issue.
So Speaker, arise. I know it's straightforward and I can see the expression that we shouldn't have further discussion. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make a few comments as it relates to this particular bill that's before us, Licensing Amendment Bill 2022. Mr. Speaker, while I have absolutely no objection to what was done for the lawyers and barristers, solicitors this morning, we're knocking off $1,000 and we're replacing that with a scheme that goes from $250 to $750. I mean, kudos to those who would benefit from this, Mr. Speaker. So we understand that what we are doing, we are now going according to the legal profession regulations and the rates that are captured there. So absolutely no objection. I'm quite comfortable with this. But Mr. Speaker, as the member explained and got to the point of barristers and we're removing that, and then he went on to refer to accountants. I sat and I was getting a bit comfortable because I thought that he was going to add that some accommodations similarly, because he used the word equitable, he used the word fair, that we are making this amendment. So I thought if we're talking fair, then we're going to be looking across the board. So a young accountant, for example, who's just setting up practice, or a young doctor just setting up practice, means that those two persons within the first 5 years will have to pay $1,000. The lawyer who is benefiting here is now going to be paying $250. Mr. Speaker, I'm just saying, let's leave it at $250 for the lawyers. But let us consider a similar, what you referred to as fair and equitable arrangement in terms of a schedule based on years of practice for a young practicing private doctor or a practicing accountant. So that was the first thing, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, while we're on this subject, because we do know that some of these people who are getting into practice, they struggle to start. So we've made it fairer, we've made it more equitable for the lawyers. Let us do it for all these other people who are listed there who have to pay the $1,000. And you might say to me, in defense, Mr. Speaker, that lawyers have other fees that they have to pay. That doesn't come to the government, and yes, that is so. And so do other professions as well, Mr. Speaker. But what is critical to note, Mr. Speaker, we cannot treat this as an even playing field, a level playing field as it relates to income. Hence the reason I'm saying fair, equitable, great for the lawyers, but let's take it across the board and reconsider what's happening to the other professions, especially, as I said, for the person who is getting into business within that first 5-year period as they struggle to get out of the red. But Mr. Speaker, more importantly, I want to move attention on a related matter. And that matter has to do, Mr. Speaker, with a category of persons who have to be licensed. And I'm referring here, Mr. Speaker, to Health Practitioners Act, SRO 45, Health Practitioners Order. Mr. Speaker, I want the same spirit of fairness, equity, caring for the lawyers, which I support. I want that same spirit, Mr. Speaker, to follow as it relates to this category of persons. So, for example, we speak about athletic trainers, personal trainers, barbers, hairdressers, makeup artists, nail technician, pedicurists, beauty therapists, speech and language therapists, tattoo artists. Not so interested in that one personally, Mr. Speaker. But I make the point. Mr. Speaker, these people, come the end of November, will be required to pay for the first time license fee. Mr. Speaker, we are talking about a category of people, and not wanting to make any comparison with the lawyers because I've already given my support to this, but we are talking about a category of people, Mr. Speaker, that we know many of them are struggling. You go to Grenville right now, Mr. Speaker, and some of them, I don't have to ask, have not had one client for the day. Mr. Speaker, come the end of November, these people will be required to come up with $705. Let's remember the numbers. $705 that they must pay upfront to get their license. But Mr. Speaker, in addition to that, they will be required to spend over $1,000 more to meet the other requirements to get that license. And Mr. Speaker, these other requirements, for example, they have to get insurance coverage. So Speaker, I'm quite sure, I'm certain.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't seeing the light. Honorable, did I have government business?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
You rise on.
I draw your attention, Mr. Speaker, to standing order number 39. All rise.
You rise on a point of order.
Order. And draw your attention to
39.
standing order number 39. It speaks to the scope of the debate. 39.1. And it reads, Mr. Speaker, debate upon any motion, bill, or amendment shall be relevant to such motion, bill, or amendment, except in the case of a motion for the adjournment of the House. In this context, Mr. Speaker, I believe the member is violating that particular standing order. That's
All right, Honorable MP, please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, all I'll say to this is even if the member was thinking what I'm saying is irrelevant, he should not have said it publicly. Even if he's thinking that it's irrelevant to make a request on behalf of a category of people who I just said, for the day so far, I am certain that they have not had a client. And the same thing that we are doing here this morning, Mr. Speaker, which is to make things a little fairer, a little better, a little more accommodating, a little more equitable for the lawyers and the barristers and the solicitors. I'm simply saying, Mr. Speaker, while we do that, let us consider also a few other groups of persons. And I'm hoping, Mr. Speaker, well, it's irrelevant, so maybe it would not be considered. But I'm saying, Mr. Speaker, at least what we can do is to consider. I'm not saying that we change it here today, but I'm saying let's go back and reconsider what is before us as it relates to SRNO 44, I believe it is. But Mr. Speaker, what is relevant also is that these persons have to do this by the end of November. And what is the penalty? What are they facing? The persons who, until this hour, may not have had a client for the day? What they are facing, Mr. Speaker, is a maximum of 3 years imprisonment. What they're facing, Mr. Speaker, is a maximum of $100,000 in fines if they do not apply for their license. So, Mr. Speaker, I make the point and reiterate the point that it's extremely relevant that persons in other categories be considered as we are on this move to make fairer and more equitable, as was stated by the member, the fees for licensing categories of workers or categories of businesses, categories of business persons, particularly professions, particularly, as we said, the lawyer. I close, Mr. Speaker, reiterating that I said when I started that I support the reduction as it relates to the lawyers. You may argue, Mr. Speaker, and say it is not a reduction, it's a replacement. Well, if I had to pay $1,000, and in reality, I would have had to pay $1,000 plus $750 in the case of a lawyer practicing over 16 years. $1,000 plus $750. Now, thankfully, that lawyer will just be paying $750. Thank you.
So yeah, folks, you've heard it there from the Honorable Emmeline Pierre herself. Many of you may not know that last week, one of the things that the government did is that they adjusted the amount of money that lawyers have to pay to operate within the state of Grenada. Before, their license was like, I think, $1,000 a yearly basis. That has been scaled now, so if they're operating, well, $1,000 and plus, as you heard from the honorable member there as well, $750 on top of that if they're operating over 16 years or whatever it is. But now it has been reduced. So if a lawyer is a new lawyer, I think it's 2 something or 3 something they're paying. I don't have the exact figures in front of me right now, but they're not going to be paying $1,000. Yeah. So the younger lawyers, they're going to be paying less, and those who've been operating 5 years and over, they are going to be paying the $1,000 and so. So they've addressed that problem in relation to lawyers, and I know many lawyers might be listening to tonight's program, and they're all well and happy with it. Some may be indifferent to it because they make enough money to pay it anyway, so they don't really, they probably just line with $1,000, much less to have to pay $1,000 to the state. They don't mind that, right? But what was so urgent? What was so necessary to focus on doing that for the lawyers? Remember, the Prime Minister is a lawyer, and you had the Attorney General and all the friends and them lawyers and thing, because there's some big jobs coming up, 20 grand plus and all kind of thing. I'll go hear about it. But anyway, because now even Ministry of Agriculture have lawyer attached to them. You have Ministry of Legal Affairs and we have a lawyer attached to Ministry of Agriculture. I think it is $10,000 a month or some kind of thing, right? But they are saying no, we are going to scale it so different lawyers who have worked for different amount of time would pay different amounts. All right, all well and fair. Meanwhile, the hairdressers, the barbers, the nail technicians, the masseuses, the ladies who does braid hair during tourist season on Granans Beach, yes, you too, right? All of these categories of people, along with many others, coaches, yeah, the sports coaches like Paul Philip and these people and them, all of them, the coaches and so, yeah, the physiotherapists, all of these people have to still pay the kind of money that they tell them earlier. They say, what was it? Well, when you add it up, it goes into a couple $1,000s, you know, because you're not just speaking the fee itself, which I think was 500 or 700 and something, 700 or so, that they have to pay. That is the one payment. Then they still have to find money to go and get themselves certified. That is going to be at least 1,000 or more, right? So they have to go through this whole process. And I can tell you, I would love to know from the Ministry of Health how many people have completed that process. Because I've been speaking to hairdressers, multiple. I've been speaking to barbers. I've been speaking to nail technicians. I've been speaking to various people who have been categorized under the Allied Health Act. And these people don't know what to do. Up to now, some of them confused. They go over to Allied Health. Allied Health tell them check with NTA. NTA telling them check back with them. Who telling them check Ministry of Health. And they just getting bounced around and they don't know what to do. So many of them, some have started the process and they start a process and then they don't know how to go further on it. People have certificates that are not being accepted. So you have some people who are certified. They're hairdressers, they're barbers, nail techs, etc. They're certified. Some of them even went outside next door to Trinidad and Barbados and so on. Some have been certified in the US, the UK. And would you believe that in some of those instances, their certificates are not being accepted? Because they're saying, well, we don't know about that school and we never hear about that school and this, different things like that. And you're talking about people here who in some cases for 10 years, 20 years, 15 years have been doing this thing, have been operating in the thing. Now, we are not saying that you don't need some guidance and some guidelines within the ministry. No way are we saying that. But we're saying be fair to everybody. If you're doing it for the lawyers, if you're saying the lawyers paying that and you think they should be paying less and it's only fair, you didn't come and say, well, the hairdressers, Dangles, behave yourself now, brother. Only I would not remove him. That's my partner. I don't study Dangles. Dangles just doing that for miserable. He's just being miserable. Dangles, make sure and share the live. Yeah. The people who are in that industry, you're not saying that somebody, a young lady in a village that started off doing her hair and so now she started doing braiding and so on, and she has to be certified. They're not saying when she is certified, charge her differently to somebody that has a big place and might have 5 or 6 people working for them, or somebody who has been in the industry and established for over 2 decades or so. They're not saying that that person who is there for over 2 decades has to pay at a different level than... Hey, leave Dangles alone. Dangles does always do that. He does jump under the live just to get trouble. Dangles, they mean nothing by that. Yeah. They are not saying to give a different costing. Yeah? To the young lady in the village who just come out and do she course last year. She might have gone to Barbados or she was in the States, so she did a course there. She was in the UK. She did a course there. She has a certification. They are not saying charge her differently to somebody who's established and operating for the last 8 or 9 years. But when it comes to the lawyers, they're friends who they does lime with. They're friends who they does knock glass with. They're friends who they does jump plane and travel and go and play mass in different countries with. When it comes to their friends, they decide, no, yeah, we have to fix up that, we have to, yeah, you see again who they're helping. Fix their friends up. But the other categories of people, and there are many other categories of people, what about electricians? Somebody just finished the course by Telfa and they go and they do the wireman's exam and they get their license to operate as an electrician. Why are they not saying to these people, okay, well, you just come in as an electrician, so this is your first one, we're going to charge you at that level, and after 5 years, we're going to charge you at this level or whatever. Or after 2 years at this level, 3 years at this level, 5 years at that level. No, they ain't telling them that, but they make sure they do it for the lawyers. You know, in fact, let me see if I could find another one here. Let me let you all hear what a lawyer himself had to say in relation to this issue. Let's hear what a lawyer had to say in relation to this issue.
MP for the town of St. George.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Morning, Mr. Speaker. Morning to everyone. Mr. Speaker, I just want to rise in support of the amendment to the bill. And I want to support my sister here in what she indicated, which was support for the amendment, but call for the same latitude, compassion. Remember, we also passed the legal professional bill. It is we who did it. It's not something that was imposed on us. So we passed one, we passed the other, and we choose now to amend the one with $1,000, which is commendable. So it is not as if we have to amend one and not the other. We could have done it another way. We could have amended legal act too to come up to 1,000, but we didn't. And we're not calling for that. I'm just addressing the issue raised by my brother Carrico and P.T. Martinique, that it is not something that was imposed on us. So we took a choice now to amend it in a way that we believe is equitable, and I think that is laudable. I think what my sister is calling for is a extension of that compassion beyond simply attorneys. You know, I said to some colleagues that the legal profession, as the medical profession used to be back in the day, 50, 60 years ago. It was a small group of people, very elitist profession, doctors. I remember Maurice Bishop giving a story when he went to the airport to see the first set of students going off to Cuba in 1979, and he said he saw this lady crying, and he asked her why she was crying. She said she never thought somebody like her would live to see her child going and study to become a doctor. Prior to that, doctors were a very small elite group. Now we have doctors across the board, some making a lot of money, some not making not so much money. We have a lot of lawyers some making a lot of money, some making not so much money, struggling to survive, struggling to pay their bills. So I think this is an excellent proposal to, especially in the act to grade it. 50, 60 years ago, there were 5, 10 lawyers in town, and everybody had to go to them. So they were scooping up all the money, all the cases that was around. So I want to extend to say that I do support what was said by my colleague. And as an attorney, I mean, I'm sure there are quite a lot of attorneys can afford the 1,000, but there are some who will struggle to pay that 1,000 because of the years in practice. They haven't gotten themselves up and going. They're still working for somebody for a few $1,000s a month, and that would begin to. So I agree with it, but I also ask for a similar review of persons other than attorneys who would find themselves in a similar position. And that, I believe, is very, very relevant to this debate, because as we seek to respond to what you hear out there, that we are in some difficult times, as you respond to it, we respond to it in a way that is broadly equitable. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So you heard the Honorable Peter David there also saying, yes, you could do it for the lawyers, and nobody, not the Honorable Emlyn Pear, not the Honorable Peter David, no one is saying, no, you can't do it for the for the lawyers. No one is saying, don't do it for the lawyers. Everyone is saying, yes, you could do it for them. But if you're doing it for them, what about all the other categories of people? What about all the other people who are out there? And Honorable Emlyn Pear mentioned that category of people. If you're trying to lower something for that category of individuals, what about the other set of people? What about everybody else? Yeah, why are you selecting just that particular group and saying that you're going to address something that it was wrong, it was being done to them, and you're just making sure you're making sure everything okay with your friends. What about the rest of people? Yeah, maybe the Prime Minister mean he going back and practice law soon, so he want to stick law. He making sure that when he go back, he don't have to pay much. I know, you never know, Yeah.
Leader of His Majesty Opposition.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I just stand to, of course, to give my full support to the comments raised by my two other colleagues who spoke before me. Mr. Speaker, I was a bit surprised with my brother from Member St. George's Southeast attempted to get up on a point of order on something to me is in his own interest to hear and to even agree to that is something we should look at. In fact, I would, sometimes we do things, sometimes with good intention, Mr. Speaker, but in our society, things can be twisted easily. You know what the perception could be if a man does not even read this? Well, you see, the Prime Minister is a lawyer, he's taking care of his friends. That is the perception that is going to be. In other words, what the member is saying would reduce that perception or the possibility of anyone attempting to do this. Because people don't listen to the rationale that we talk about here, all the rationale given and the justifiable reasons for this modification. It's just lawyers have been paying less now. The Prime Minister lawyer, and maybe you never know, it might say Peter again something too. You never know. So I'm saying it is a good suggestion to examine other areas of license that may be something that you can look at to adjust in the future. I would have hoped it would be nice if it came here with additional areas of licenses. I think it would be more appropriate and so on. But the other point I want to make, sometimes we have fees, we go to Parliament, we pass. The question is, are people paying? Are they paying? In other words, you may reduce or you may increase, but if you are paying, then I don't know that the emphasis should be on just adjustments. It also should be on ensuring that people pay what they're supposed to pay, because that's an area of serious consideration. I know that having been Minister of Finance for several years, I know a lot of times you hear people talking about government and doing this, government and doing this. But when a basic thing of meeting a little bit of your responsibility, you don't do it. I'm not suggesting that lawyers in general do it, because I have not seen the numbers. So I can't say that lawyers are not meeting that responsibility. But I suggested an area the Minister of Finance, who's not here, to examine that aspect. So supporting the members for their comments on it's all right to do what we're doing with respect to the legal situation, but examining other areas would be, to me, very important. And I think that's the suggestion. So I suggest to my friend, I think she should be your partner today, not otherwise, not the other way around.
Yes, folks. So you heard Dr. Mitchell again reinforcing the same point. Yeah, it's okay to do it for the lawyers. Nobody's saying no, don't do it for the lawyers. Yeah, but what about everybody else? What about the health care professional people, the allied health professional people who are facing jail terms if they do not complete the process? And the thing is, you're not hearing the Minister of Health speaking about that. You hear them trying to take everything that the NNP do. That is what they're spending their time doing. But this issue, because you have many hairdressers out there and people involved in the beauty industry. They're speaking of the creative industry and they want to do the creative industry. The creative industry is directly tied to the beauty industry. So if you have people that are going to be coming into Grenada, you say you want to bring people to do movies. You want people locally to do movies, and so who is doing the makeup? Who is doing the hair? Who is doing the other aspects that these people need to complete? But yet still, you're putting them in a position that, hey, is that jail you're making? If you don't do this by this point in time, is that jail you're making? We've got a call online.
Alan Scott, good night.
Good night, Cammy. How are you?
Well, I'm not so good today. I didn't work today. Good night to the Grenadian
Well,
people.
I didn't even know because I
Good
don't go in
night to
town.
Patty and Matthew, my son got Scott in America, and my friends in Canada, Mr. Ian, Mr. Watt, and the Mr. Watt is sending the tablet for me, the pressure tablet. Good night, sir. Look a while at the girl, Caleb. Miss Stevie's in Canada, good night. Sheldon, I am so sick. I am so sick and fed up with my people in Grenada. We are ungrateful set of people, and I don't care when I speak tonight who gets vexed. You understand what I'm saying? I'm fed up. $9 for a pound of tomatoes. You get 3 tomatoes for the pound. 7 green green fig. I will send the hand and show you for $5. And that's our people that bring that on ourselves in this country. I said that bad mind people with bad mind. You know something? If I don't speak out, pressure show me down and kill me inside of it. Grenadians very ungrateful. What? Miss Yolan Bain, Mr. Peter David, Dr. Mitchell, Miss Clarice Modest, Miss Bear. The amount of hard work these people do for us in Grenada, we don't go out and vote. We sit back. We never go. Some of us get bribed for $2. So, them that bring that on themselves. We that bring that pressure on themselves. They sit back. They don't want vote. NDC supporters pass and bribe a lot of you all. And today everybody voting. I am suffering. I am suffering. But I rather pound stone before I go to these people. You understand? And on Tuesday, Dr. Michelle is a hero. Keep Claudius Mitchell is a hero. Mr. David and Miss Heroes. Because they make sacrifice to help we in this country. And none of y'all are speaking out about the goodness that God put on their heart to help us in this country. So all you take what all you get under Dickie Mitchell. Dickie Mitchell as the Prime Minister in this country. He just studying all you know. That man no bother with all you. He just studying all you. Take what all you get. And on Tuesday, I remember, you could have go by Dr. Mitchell. MNP, Jerry Wright, NDC, used to go and sit and talk to this man. They get in the water bill pay. They used to come and tell me, Mr. Oh God, I come by Dr. Mitchell. I come by Peter. Don't talk about Peter. Don't talk about Peter. Miss Vane. That lady used to buy all my sugar cake and tambambal when she was in social services as a minister and share for all the staff. That is the lady that helped me like a business grow. She buy all my tambambal and fudge. God bless that lady. And the people in Grenville, they vote out that lady. And you take what all you get. I do sorry. I'm in trouble right now, but I don't want nobody to sorry for me. Or you put pressure on people like me and others in this country. Or you refuse to go out and vote. And are you joining with them and say, keep Mitchell and do nothing. You don't do nothing. For you to stand up and speak in the villages where they pitch on your road, where you get water, where you get galvanized and to be supplied. and you sit back and you say nothing. So take what Dick Mitchell and the rest of cabinet members doing to all you. Don't complain. Don't complain. I don't afraid to speak because I am grateful for the NNP government did for me, Camille, where I was. Peter David, God bless you. He's a man that every day has got to guide and protect you. And Dr. Mitchell and the rest of the team. Mr. Rambain. I could never forget these people. Never forget when people is good to you all. Dr. Mitchell, give a lot to all you. Good jobs. I will turn your back on him. Mr. David help them all you try and get scholarship and go and study all in Dubai. I run your mouth on him. Miss Morris, help are you. I will say nothing going on in Grenada. So it's all you that bring that. I will just let it light candle. More candle on your head for I to see trouble in Grenada. I done close to my grave already. So I'm worried. I don't care. I'm fed up with some of y'all. And some of you not grateful for what the energy people do for us in this country. Hey! Call it them Africans. Hey! We ungrateful. So what we get take? Sometimes shall another vex with you. I won't lie. Someone vex on you. Thinking about these people. And boy, don't give them people advice. Let me suffer. We had it. I don't go out and but what I do to Mr. Oliver Joseph. I went on my knees. The last meeting we had in that place in St. David. When I hear that man lose his seat, I feel myself. Grenadians ungrateful. Some of y'all embracing them. When they reach go in America, somebody will never come back since you go in America and come and see. When my uncle Pinky Chest come in Grenada and he don't even know where he was. For all the years he goes out there when he came back to see Melville Street. Look at that terminal. When they said he go take it and go in Grand. Everybody in this country making $1 on that bus terminal. Some of them don't pay any rent, but they're selling all their food. They're selling their water. And I just sit back and say NNP government do nothing for Grenada. So it's a cost. A cost we put on your own country. Have a good night, Grenada. And I don't care who run them out and say what I have to say. It don't bother me because I'm fed up with all you. I don't want none of you to come by me and it's no bad. I don't want none of you to want to stick no politics with me. Because a lot of us that claim to be NNP is very hypocrite. I will run on your mouth and I could call and say, call out your name when I hear the terminal and I run on your mouth. Just leave me alone. I don't want to hear some more because it's a hypocrite. NNP government help us in this country.
Running out of time.
Mitchell
Kami.
and some of my team members
Kami.
should be heroes because they help us.
Running out of
We are
time.
living there was a track.
All right, my dear. Kami.
To stick here. We are wrongs about.
Kami, we gotta cut it. We gotta cut it, my dear, because we're running out of time. All right.
Nothing.
Kami.
Go to God.
She's not here.
Beg him pardon before he deliver us under this people. Have a good night.
All right. Yes, indeed. 44073. Yeah, we might be able to get in one more call. Let me see. Yeah, might be able to get in one more call. Because we're quickly running out of time. It's now 6 minutes to the hour of 10 o'clock. And let me see if I can get this one in. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Brother Sheldon.
Hi, good night.
How do?
Quite fine. Go right ahead.
Okay. Yeah, Brother Sheldon, give you some information there about the breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday the 4th of November, the NNP St. John Northwest Fundraising Committee will be having a breakfast.
Saturday, this Saturday? Wait, hold on. This Saturday, right?
No, Saturday the 4th of November.
Oh, next week Saturday. Okay,
yeah.
right, okay.
Right, yeah. Breakfast starting at 6 a.m. in the morning. On sale will be roast bakes, fried bakes, fried cuckoo, saltfish sauce, smoked herring, fish cake, your eggs, sausage, fried plantain, tanya lard, and cocoa tea. So we ask you're asking everyone passing down, going to work in the morning, pass and get and buy a lovely breakfast, a breakfast that will give you strength and give you strength to work for the day, right? Because we know Northwest they provide some lovely breakfast. So everyone passing to go down to work, the neighbors, villagers, the whole of Northwest, come out and support the breakfast because you will enjoy the breakfast. And once you stay around and buy breakfast, I know you will buy the next one.
All right. Thank you.
You should have a blessed night.
All right. Thank you. All right. I don't think we are. Maybe if it's one time, we might be able to get one. Yeah, Dangles, I know you're going and you're making sure you go and get your breakfast and thing, eh? Yeah, Dangles, making sure you get your Let's take on Dangles. Let Dangles go and lay all your stress out on yourself. Folks, just a reminder, tomorrow morning, there will be a parliament sitting. It's a sitting of the House of Representatives. Very important bills will be discussed, so it's important that you do tune in. They will be starting, I believe it should be around 10. Because there's some other activity, so they've pushed the time back from the usual 9 to 10 o'clock. So from 10 tomorrow, there will be a sitting of Parliament. So those of you that can and have the opportunity, pay attention. I know some of you will say you can't listen because you can't take on the bunch of lie, and the disrespect. I know, I understand. But those of you that can, please take the opportunity to listen and to pay attention to what is taking place. All right? Yeah, I seen the line ringing, but I can't take that one now because the time on us now. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're going to have to call. Folks, remember we're on tomorrow night, again, with Talking Points, and Wednesday night, and Thursday nights, God's willing. All right? Nice. So we are going to be on those nights. One final thing, though. Remember, make sure that you are registered. Now, I see that they're passing out some documents now asking you how your MP performing. What is the performance of your member of parliament and various other questions. In other words, they're trying to poll to get an idea of how you, the Grenadian people, perceive the present administration. As I said at the beginning, they don't need to poll. They could just ask anybody. They will tell you generally, yeah, fail. F. They get a failing grade. Yeah? So they're passing around and they're polling and so. But that should tell you something as well. It should tell you that you need to make sure that at all times that you're ready. It should tell you that you need to make sure that your name is on the voters list. Don't take it for granted that your name was on the voters list before. Still check now. Because you never could tell how your name might just fall off the list. I remember election several years ago that there was this particular candidate that they winning. And election morning, 70 people they could not find on the electoral list. You know why? They did not do their work before. So those 70 people, and needless to say that candidate lost. But needless to say, they did not do the work. You know what happened? Some of those people end up in different constituencies because the constituency they were in were bordered on all sides by other constituencies. So whether it was done maliciously or otherwise, people who were supposed to be in that candidate's constituency ended up in other people's constituency. So 70 people that was following them to rallies and going to meetings and yes, we support you and have on the t-shirt and everything. When came election morning, those 70 people couldn't even find where they had to vote in time to go and vote because they thought they were in that constituency and they were not registered there. Don't be one of those 70. Make sure you know where you're supposed to vote, that you are there, that they make any changes on you. Make sure from now and every couple months, check again. Yeah? They say the price of freedom is eternal. Vigilance. So make sure that you are vigilant and you continue to monitor what is taking place with the voters list. Keep an eye on the electoral office. We can't take we eye off it, you know. Because I get the impression that some people might realize that they're going to lose an election and intend to buy one. But to buy it, they had to do some simidimi in various places. So we have to keep our eyes on the electoral office. All right? Because they could either, they ain't going to win it outright, so they might try to buy it. So to stop that, we have to be vigilant. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points today. It's been wonderful being here with you, as usual. And in whatever you say, whatever you do, wherever you go, yeah, just remember to be safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you, and definitely not about you. Love each and every one of you. I'm Sheldon Scott. I am out.
Somebody wave your hands and give me praise. Say, you can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. You can't sit down. No, me can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. You can't sit down. But I know what you say. You can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. You can't sit down. No, me can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. You can't sit down. Do you know why? For all he has done for me, how he set my spirit free. He even drank a bit of cup for me. No, me can't sit down. From Palafo to Calvary, he took the walk for you and me. Then they nailed him to a tree. No, me can't sit down. Grenada, can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. No, me can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Excuse me. What do you say? Me can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. Grenada, can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. Listen to me. So no matter what you say about me, no matter what you do to me, see I know I have the victory. So I can't sit down. Me place a fire down in my soul, and the Holy Ghost is in control. The blood of Jesus satisfies. I give him pass and he testify. Grenada, can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. No, me can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down.